calls are intensifying for the South African Defence Ministry to provide clarity on the unfolding situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali reports.
The deaths of 9 South African soldiers in a fierce battle with M23 rebels have sent shockwaves across the nation. Families of the fallen troops are demanding answers, while political and security analysts are urging the Defence Ministry to provide clarity on the ground situation in the DRC. Several political parties have criticized the SANDF's lack of transparency.
And yet, up to this very moment, the minister has not yet pronounced a word except for a curt and very generalized statement by the South African National Defence Force about this tragedy. This is an indication of a minister that is not only out of touch, but is also insensitive and callous to the suffering of the families and the terrible wound that has been inflicted on our whole nation. Therefore, the EFF has called for Minister Motshekga to immediately step down as Minister of Defence and Military Veterans. And if she does not step down, President Ramaphosa must remove her. We've also asked for President Ramaphosa to account as the Commander-in-Chief.
This call for accountability comes amid unsettling reports that the soldiers were not only unsupported, but also faced serious logistical challenges, including running out of provisions.
The South African National Defence Force is collapsing, but it doesn't have the resources. And it certainly doesn't have the resources nor the training of manpower to be able to fight this war in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So President Ramaphosa must also account, and it is unacceptable that he's still in Davos. After this tragedy played out, he should have boarded his plane immediately, flew back to South Africa, came and presented his condolences to the families who have been inflicted this terrible loss, and he should have addressed the nation.
South African troops were deployed to the region as part of the Southern African Development Community mission. But the DA argues the escalating violence has gone beyond a regional conflict.
We should withdraw from the DRC. It'll take time to withdraw, but we've got no business there. It's no longer a peacekeeping mission. This is a civil war and has now escalated into a more conventional war, with Rwanda joining the fight formally in the DRC. Rwanda and obviously have got a very well-equipped, well-trained, very experienced army, and we certainly do not have the capacity, the equipment to remain there and to fight.
The party has also criticized the impact budget cuts have had on the military's capacity.
Our soldiers are ill-prepared, ill-equipped for this situation. We do not have air support. We do not have close air support. We do not have equipment to fight the drones. We don't have drones deployed. And even basic things such as sandbags and sand to fill the shelters behind from which the soldiers should be fighting is not there. There's not enough engineering equipment, and I don't believe we've got the engineering capacity there to really support our soldiers. We also don't have the medical cash-evac capability. We've got wounded soldiers there. In the release yesterday, there were 18 mentioned. We believe it's now much more. And true to the culture of blue lighting and red carpeting of the SANDF, the minister flew in a VIP jet into Goma. She was there, and she left with the generals, and she left the wounded soldiers behind with no immediate capability of being cash-evac into South Africa.
Defence analysts warn South African troops are overstretched, with greater threats looming closer to home.
If you cannot properly capacitate your soldiers, give them the weapons and the training and the logistics to support themselves, then I don't believe they should be there. We've got a far greater threat on our eastern borders in northern Mozambique. South Africa had a head of force is also participating in SADC force there, which they've since terminated. And the strange thing there is that Rwanda was also in Mozambique at the request of the Mozambican government. So the SADC there, that I believe didn't work. There wasn't a lot of communication between the SAD forces and the Rwandan forces within Mozambique. So that has now terminated from the SAD's point of view. But the threat is still there on South Africa's borders from ISIS.
The crisis has now drawn the attention of the United Nations Security Council, while access to Goma's airport has been blocked indefinitely. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Veronica Makhoali in Pretoria.